Hey there, history buffs and curious minds. Welcome to a journey through time, where we'll dive into fascinating and mind-boggling historical facts. Is it disturbing or delightful? Well, my friends, you get to decide. Let's dive right in.
The Devil's Bible, a forbidden tome bound in legend. Deep in the vaults of the Swedish Royal Library lies a book so massive, so strange, and so steeped in legend that it has terrified and fascinated for centuries. This is the Codex Gigas, Latin for giant book, but most know it by a far more sinister name, the Devil's Bible. It's the largest surviving medieval manuscript in the world, weighing 165 pounds and stretching nearly 3 feet wide when opened. Legend says it was written in just a single night by a monk condemned to die. The story goes like this. A Benedictine monk in Bohemia, having broken his sacred vows, was sentenced to a horrific death, to be walled up alive. In a desperate bid for redemption, he begged to be spared if he could produce a book containing the entirety of human knowledge. The Bible, history, medicine, magic, astronomy, and more, all in one volume. He was granted one night to do the impossible. As midnight crept closer, realizing he could not finish in time, the monk made a dark bargain, not with God, but with the devil. It is said he offered his soul in exchange for help, and that the devil himself appeared, completing the manuscript in a flash. In tribute, the monk included a chilling, full-page portrait of Satan, a horned, green-eyed figure with clawed hands, crouching in a void, facing the image of the heavenly city on the opposite page, a symbolic tug-of-war between salvation and damnation. But the legend isn't the only thing that makes this book terrifying. Inside the 310 vellum pages, made from the skin of over 160 animals, is the entire Latin Vulgate Bible, plus a bizarre collection of texts, medical treatises, exorcism rituals, magical formulas, a calendar of lunar eclipses, and even a guide on how to detect and punish demonic possession. And the most chilling part? The handwriting. The entire book, all 320,000 Latin words, appears to be written in a single, eerily consistent script, as if by one hand, with no signs of aging, stress, or changes in ink over hundreds of pages. Experts agree it would take a scribe at least 20 years to write by hand, yet it shows no corrections, no hesitation, no variation, as if written without sleep. Pages are missing, torn out with surgical precision. Some claim they contained forbidden incantations. Others say they describe the monk's final moments, or perhaps secrets never meant to be read. The book changed hands many times through history. In 1648, it was stolen from Prague by Swedish soldiers during the 30 Years' War. It now rests in Stockholm, but even there it is kept behind glass, rarely disturbed. Many believe the Codex Gigas is cursed. Some say those who have read it have suffered terrible fates, madness, hallucinations, or unshakable dread. The book was rescued from a fire at the Royal Castle in Stockholm in 1697. As soldiers tried to save valuables, one man threw the codex out a window, damaging its corner. The rest of the castle burned. The book survived, almost unscathed. Some say the devil protected his masterpiece from the flames. Scholars believe that 12 pages were intentionally removed, possibly by monks who wanted to erase knowledge they thought was just too dangerous, or maybe even heretical. And rumors still persist that these missing pages contained a demonic summoning ritual, or perhaps even the monk's final confessions about the deal he made. Paleographers say it would take a trained scribe at least 5 years of non-stop writing, and more than 20 years if you count the illustrations, to create it. Yet the script never changes. There are no signs of fatigue, aging, or any emotional variance at all. No coffee stains, no practice runs, just perfect, almost robotic uniformity. It contains 2 alphabets used for incantations, including one that, interestingly enough, resembles Enochian, a so-called angelic language tied to John Dee and occult practices. There's even a unique confessions page that lists punishments for sins, from fasting to flogging, all written with this unusual emphasis on demonic temptation. The devil's illustration shows him occupying an entire page, which is honestly just unheard of in medieval texts. Directly across from him is a depiction of heaven. Scholars believe this duel of pages represents the monk's internal spiritual war, or maybe the choice that was forced upon him. A few researchers, granted rare access to view it in person, report feeling dizzy, nauseous, or just deeply unsettled, though medically, they're fine. One even claimed she heard a scratching sound like quills on parchment while she was alone in the room. What began as a desperate plea for salvation became a monument to obsession, heresy, and genius. A chilling artifact that really blurs the line between divine devotion and unholy pacts. Was it the work of a madman, a monk possessed, or perhaps something far more sinister? One thing is certain, the Devil's Bible is real, and it is watching.
You've been watching Historical Facts, disturbing or delightful.